Welcome, everybody, to the American LFC show on YouTube. I am Salim, and Coach is a little bit under the weather, so it'll just be me today talking about the win at the Stadium of Light versus Sunderland, a 1-0 victory for Liverpool, courtesy of a Virgil Van Dijk goal off a set piece. So, a couple things to talk about there. I think there are three main storylines. First of all, the W is important right now. That brings us closer to Chelsea and Arsenal. I believe we're two or 3 points behind Chelsea and 5 points behind. Did I say Arsenal? I meant Manchester United. Pardon me. So Chelsea and Man U now are in our sights. They're within striking distance, and it's important for the Champions League spots with 12 games to go. So if Liverpool can go on a little bit of a run here, get some momentum, we have a good chance of gaining one of those spots. Saying that, am I 100% confident? I wouldn't say 100%. This team has been inconsistent, but a victory is a victory, and thank God to West Ham and Leeds to tying their games against United and Chelsea. So, there's one really interesting thing that happened during the game. Well, many, but this one was very interesting to me, was the Ibou Konate versus Brian Brobbey matchup. It was physical. It was intense. Both are big guys. I thought that battle all day long was kind of old school, classic Premier League center back, big, powerful center forward battle. I thought Konate played extremely well against him. He was physical. He got in the way. He blocked some shots. And I just thought overall, it seems like ever since, he came back due to, his absence due to his father's passing, that, maybe he has a new perspective because he's been playing very, very well. And I've been one of the people that have been very critical of him, of his inconsistency. We know when he hits high levels who he can be and what kind of player he is. But, it seems like ever since he came back from that tragic death of his father, that he's been great. And you got to tip your hat to him when he plays well like that. So great job, Konate, battling against Brian Brobbey. I think another thing that we have to kind of acknowledge is that Florian Wirtz is continuing to ascend. His confidence level is getting better and better. His play is getting better and better week in and week out. And I think it's very clear that the games have to flow through Florian Wirtz. Simple. It used to flow through Mohamed Salah. Now Mohamed Salah hasn't been himself. I have been very... I love the Egyptian king, but he's lost his legs and he's lost his confidence, and he no longer is the player that we all know. I think Coach has mentioned several times that he's probably moving on after this year. And if Arne Slot doesn't get Champions League football, there's a lot of good managers kind of available over the summer where the seat will get even hotter for him. So as we kind of look at Mohamed Salah, I thought he played a decent game yesterday. He had a couple opportunities. He missed a couple opportunities, but the fact is that he got some opportunities. The main thing that Mohamed Salah has lost is the ability to go one-on-one. So even he's starting to look for his teammates more, and he's kind of identified that maybe he's not the focal point anymore, and that Florian Wirtz is that focal point. Wirtz hit the post on a shot. Was getting into spots, dangerous spots, was around the ball a lot. And then, that made everything a lot easier for the whole team. It is clear that we have a superstar on our hands. I think we all knew it as Liverpool fans, but kind of seeing the progression and the confidence, the physicality is one thing that he's getting used to, and that he's able to kind of run the game, not being not being able to be, physically pushed off a ball anymore. And he's understands what this game is like here in England. And, under those conditions of the rain and the field looked muddy, and, you could tell that he's really the class of the game, class of this team, the jewel of this team. So, yeah, very, very happy with him. One of the things that I think will probably go unnoticed and maybe not spoken about much is how Liverpool were pinned in towards the second part of the second half, maybe the last 15 minutes. And when there was 7 minutes of added time, extra time, I was worried. But Curtis Jones, McAllister, and even Robo kind of grabbed the ball, got the ball, and then we passed it around, moved it around, and essentially killed the clock. And that was extremely, extremely good to see, because when Liverpool have been pinned in and they're kind of lashing at balls to get them out of the danger zone, and then the team comes back down on them, this is when we have kind of witnessed some pretty disheartening goals at the end of the game. So here we are, 12 games left, as I want to just make sure I'm really accurate here as far as the standings go. So yeah, 2 points behind Chelsea, 3 points behind United. And we have a legit shot here of Champions League spots, excuse me. So as we kind of look forward, next game is against Brighton this weekend on Saturday. This is an FA Cup game. And then we have Nottingham Forest at Forest, and then West Ham at Anfield to kind of end out the month. As far as opponents go, you couldn't ask for two better opponents. West Ham has improved. I have to say that. They played really well against United in a kind of sit back, counterattack type of game that Nuno Espirito Santos is known for. And I thought they did really well against United. United, I think they can even say they're a little bit fortunate to come away with a tie, but a great goal by Sesko, instinctual goal by Sesko to tie the game up 1-1. And then, Forest has been, up and down. And I think the fact that they're on their third manager this year has been really difficult on the team. They have talent on the team. We all know that. Last year, they were very, very good. But with Sam Dyche at the helm, I think it's going to be very similar to a Nuno Espirito Santos type of game. So we'll see kind of how that goes that's the following Sunday. That's the 22nd. As you look at Brighton at the FA Cup, is this game important? I'm not sure. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Realistically, I would love to see some other players kind of get on the field. However, after the injury to after the injury, I can't. Why can't I think of his name right now? My God. Watro Endo. There we go. Jeez. Okay. So after the injury to Endo, I think it's really clear that, our right back position is cursed. So I'm not sure who's going to play there. Maybe Joe Gomez can play, but, Glass Joe, when he's on the field is great, but, gets injured often, unfortunately for him. So interesting to see kind of what we'll do there. Would love to see some youngsters get a start there. The game will be at Anfield, so we'll see what we do there. I know our team is a little bit thin now after some of the injuries, but we'll see what happens. And as we look forward, I think we have a lot to kind of, to be really, really hopeful for. And if they lose a Brighton game, I'm not gonna cry about it. It's not gonna be a big deal for me. However, moving forward in another competition would be nice. But really, the Champions League has to be the focus, along with the Premier League, and getting into the Champions League next year, because with the holes of the team, they can be addressed over the summer. I don't think there needs to be a big overhaul. Obviously, we're fine at striker. I think Mo Salah probably needs to be replaced. Cody Gakpo is extremely frustrating, and I think maybe we got rid of the wrong left winger. However, at 28 years old for Luis Diaz, moving to Bayern, and he wanted a bigger paycheck. I understand kind of the financial aspect of it, and Liverpool did make a pretty penny on it. So I understand that part, but I think we need 2 new wingers for sure. And, potentially another central midfielder. And obviously, the right back's position has been cursed. I think we're fine there. And then maybe if Robertson doesn't stay on for another year or 2, then we'll probably need another left back. Obviously, center back with Jeremy Jacquet has been addressed. I think with Leone coming back, if Konate stays, I think we're okay there. But if Konate goes, then we'll probably need to address that position as well. Anyway, Liverpool win 1-0 against Sunderland. Great result. On to the next one, Brighton in the FA Cup, and then Forest and West Ham in the league. And let's see if we can get a couple victories together and start putting pressure on United and Chelsea, who are in front of us. Not to look too far in the rear view, but Brentford are 3 points behind us. They do play Arsenal today. We do expect Arsenal to, to get some points there and probably win the game. But Brentford have been very, very good this year, have been tough for teams to play. But hopefully they can lose some points today, and we'll stay 3 points ahead of them. And we are right on the chase. Let's go, Liverpool. Come on, you Reds. Let's go. We got this. Let's get some games together, some strings of games together, some W's, and put some heat on the teams ahead of us. All right, everybody, take care.